Maswanganyi is my full surname. That's why she always laughs when I say Swangs. Yeah, but Swangs is easier. So I'm a mom to a 4-year-old son, very handsome boy. I'm a wife to one husband. And I'm a born-again Christian. God is a central part of my identity and a guiding force in everything that I do. So professionally, I'm a psychotherapist in private practice. I'm a marketing director and a founder of Restore Mandate Therapeutics. That is at CureWise Medical Center in Midrand, New Road. And my passion lies in helping individuals achieve their mental and their emotional well-being. So that is who I am.
Did you hear that? Are you ready? Are you ready? I think maybe to break the ice.
Yeah.
What does a psychotherapist do? Because we're like, what is this fancy name?
Okay.
So maybe can you tell us that before we even begin?
Okay. So psychotherapy is just a form of a psychological setup where, in short, it's counseling. You know, so a social worker, a registered counselor, a psychologist, they are psychotherapists. To break it down, to make it sound very easy. So because of professionally I've studied social work, it's easier when I say I'm a psychotherapist because other people have different understanding of what a psychologist does, what a social worker does, you know. So when we say psychotherapy, it's closer to home, you know, psychotherapy, you know. So I'm going to a psychotherapist, but I'm not a psychiatrist. Don't mix it up with that. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'm going there, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, so that is psychotherapy.
Do I come when I'm like crazy? Like, when I'm crazy, I mean like when I'm going through things?
Yeah.
Or do I just see like going to a hair salon, go treat my hair? Do I also do that when I come to see you?
Okay. So for me, it's more like taking care of your well-being, you know, self-care. And I think because of our upbringing, our backgrounds, we are not taught these things that, you know, go and check in within yourself, you know, because most of the times it shows off in the relationships that we have with our friends, as partners, you know, as wives or husbands. Well, there's no husbands today, but as colleagues, you know, the level of patience and how you are navigating life, how you are thinking, because your mental well-being also affects your decision making. So some people come because of my manager referred me, because I also do employee wellness, you know, because of they say I'm impatient, you know. And there are those who also I work with couples a lot, which is my favorite part, you know. And there will be couples who are coming because of now we have come to a point where we are crashing, we are unable to listen to each other. And then there are those who will be coming because of a lot of people. What I've realized is that a lot of people, especially our black society, we realize that we've got challenges now that we are older, because now it's starting to show up in the kind of person that you are, the kind of friend that you are, how you are engaging with the people who are close to you. And there will be those who will be very much honest with you. Hey, when I got on anger, Mara, we laugh about it, you know. Yeah, Mara, my friend, when I got, you are very much impatient, you know. And the other problem is that other people, or most people, we normalize abnormal behavior. We are okay with it, you know, because sometimes, because of the people that we are surrounding ourselves with, there's no one who say, hey, have you thought of doing therapy? You know, because once you suggest therapy to a person, automatically they are thinking, oh, so minanyuko right, you know, people are taking offense, you know. But therapy is mostly important for you, so it's part of your, you know, I call it part of self-care. If I do therapy, you know, I'm taking care of me, you know, I'm taking care of my mental well-being. It will also show up in the kind of mother that I am, you know, how I communicate with my kids, how I engage with even family members, you know. And there are people that will be described, oh, that one, you ugasimo approach because ngari wamo trigger, you know. You know, those kind of things. So it shows a lot in behavior. So I wouldn't say that wait for someone to tell you, but be honest with yourself. Have an honest conversation with yourself. How am I doing? Am I happy with what I see in the mirror? Am I happy with the kind of person that I am? Is there anything that I need to maybe check? Because also some people also suffer from childhood trauma without knowing. And now that maybe you are in a relationship, I don't want to stick too much into marriage because of not all of us are married. But now that you are in a relationship, and I'm going to make an example of the relationship because these are people that we spend a lot of time with, maybe your partner. And sometimes you find yourself, Kuriman, you are just easily, I don't want to say triggered, but you are sensitive, and sometimes we need to sit down with yourself and reflect. Is there anything that I need to heal from? Is there anything that maybe I could be struggling with? So, yeah, to answer your question, I think I answered it in a much broader context. It doesn't need you to just wake up, but it just needs you to be honest with yourself. Yeah.
Okay. And the second one, I think because we are women here, and you said you talk to different people, so I just wanna maybe give us a stats. What do like women really that come to you like really are struggling with? So what the sense that I want us to find here is, are we really struggling? Am I the only one, or am I crazy? Or is it because we are not tackling things the way we should? So I just want to understand that the stats, the people that are coming, women that are coming, what is the most thing that are struggling with? That they like really are like saying this is the problem.
I think a lot of women today that I'm meeting is people who are struggling with low self-esteem and confidence issues. Yes, but also you did not just wake up and struggle from low self-esteem. And people don't have boundaries. Women are struggling to have boundaries, even in their homes. Those who are married, those who have kids, in friendships. You are the easy target. If I want money, I'll call Busi because Busi struggles to say no. Busi, so also not being able to differentiate kindness and having boundaries. So low self-esteem and confidence. And most of the time when we speak about low self-esteem and confidence, we need to take it back home. Because of I spoke of upbringing when I started speaking. So I'll make an example with me. So having to grow up under a household where there's mom and dad, now that I'm a wife, I've got a different picture, or maybe a picture was set up for me that this is how a wife should be. And I end up missing so much on me because now when we check our parents, how we've been groomed. If I can say to my mom, self-care, she doesn't know what self-care is. Like, that's a language that our parents don't understand, that because of also when we check with them, they were raised so much with tough love, They were raised so much in, more like programmed to focus on certain things, making sure that your husband is good, your kids are good. And also it shows up. A lot of people will say today, I don't know when last did I hear my mom saying, I love you. They don't know that. They were not taught that. So now being raised, tough love, and now that you become, now as I'm a wife now, you realize, no man, for the longest time I've been chasing this thing of taking care of my home, taking care of my husband, taking care of my kids. But who am I? What do I want? What are my goals? And now I end up crashing, because of, and sometimes I can lose my identity in chasing that, because of, if my husband maybe doesn't approve of it or say I'm beautiful, now I'm insecure. Now I find myself I'm so much behind and I've put everything before me, but where did I put myself? And that can affect, a person's way of processing, and you find yourself, and like I was saying, that it also reflects in how we engage now. Because of I'm used to accommodating everyone, it's so hard for me to just have boundaries. I just want to always accommodate everyone. I can't say, no, today I cannot help you with this, but maybe let's talk about it when I've got time. No, it's a matter because of I want to be a superhero. I was taught, this is how it looks like. So now in my mind, I just need to, to be good enough for everyone. But am I good enough for me? Where am I in all that? So yeah, it's issues such as that. And when you speak to a lot of women, and it's funny enough that a lot of women who are coming to therapy is women who are married, you know, and those who are not married, they are also coming to therapy because of you find someone saying that I find myself no longer being interested in anything. You know, I knew that this is what I wanted to study, but now it's no longer interesting, you know. And when you ask questions such as what makes you happy, women cannot answer that question, you know. And I'm also speaking about young adults, those who just, you know, graduated from varsity. And then now you're like, oh, okay. And then now this person will speak about, also we check your behavior, you know, in your eating habits, in your how you socialize, you know, those kind of things. And people are isolating, you know, and people just don't want to speak to people. There are people in their WhatsApp phone, only 100 and something messages. They're lazy to respond. When a call rings, you don't want to pick up a call. Just to say hello, it's a chore, you know. Waking up and cleaning your space, it's a chore. It has now become a chore. Now you're starting to show signs of depression there, but you're not aware. You know, for you, it's like, I'm starting to just lose interest in Jay. Like, you know, I'm no longer interested. When last did you go out with your friends? Maybe it's been like over 6 months, but I'm okay. You know, I don't want to see anyone. I'm fine. You know, that is now a person who has come to a point of normalizing behavior that is not good, you know, because now we also check your eating habits. How are you eating? I lack appetite. You know, I don't feel like eating. Or maybe I'm overeating, you know, and not eating the healthiest stuff. You know, because of maybe there are some people who are going through so much. Their coping mechanism is food, you know, and there are those who won't even touch food, you know. So it's things such as that. But now when a person comes to you and they speak about all this thing, you don't only focus on that, but you need to go back, you know, and check the background, because how did I miss it along the way? How did you miss it, you know, and what happened? And we are more interested on that, and we journey with you until you get to a place where you can say, I think I can be able to be independent and navigate it by myself.
I think you touched on low self-esteem.
Yeah.
So is it the client who says, I'm struggling with low self-esteem?
Yeah.
Or is it that you diagnose, you say, okay, no, when you suffer from this? Or is it me coming and I say, this is what I'm suffering from?
Yeah.
I'm asking this because I want to get to the point where is it because of the guys that we are married to that are making us being like low self-esteem? Or is it because of the friends that we're keeping? Like, I just want to understand that that whole process on low self-esteem.
So people don't come to therapy and say I suffer from low self-esteem, but as a therapist, you know, I've got follow-up questions that I'm going to ask. And in a way that I will ask questions, you will end up saying, hey, but I think you know, I think, and I struggle also to say no, you know. And actually now that you're asking, you know, I struggle with so many things, and it looks like, and now that we are talking about, the more we engage in therapy, that
opens up.
It's more like an awareness in a way, you know, that sort of, you know, kicks in as we are speaking, because also if I impose that on you, I'm judging you.
Okay.
You understand? And it's a safe space. So I'm not here to judge, but I'm also here to make you aware of certain things that probably sometimes we we can be honest with ourselves, but we've got a way of just justifying things, and we make it okay. And it's not okay, you know. But now when someone else now starts speaking about these things, you know, it can be overwhelming, but I mean, we are here now, and we can still do things about it. So people don't come and say, no, I want you to help me build my confidence. They come with a different scenario, but within that, as a therapist, I'll be able to pick up certain things.
But then, like I said, is it so when you discover that it's low self-esteem? How do you then help them? Is it because of how they should now change their mindset, thinking, or like how do I then identify what is causing that low self-esteem?
So each and every story is different because of we are different as people. So I gave an example with this young girl, you know, who's currently doing accounting, and she's like, I lost interest in everything, blah. So now when I tried to check her background, she she has been abandoned by her parents, but still under their household, you know, but she grew up feeling not loved. She doesn't know how to love and receive love. In that case also, she doesn't know how to show herself some grace and love herself. You know, that doesn't speak to her. So it's more like now it has come to a point where a person now is, you know, seeking validation outside, you know, seeking love outside, you know. That's why some people now, they like to be validated a lot, and they are people pleasers, you know, and you are not aware that you are a people pleaser. But also sometimes if you are not aware, you know, it's a problem, because now maybe because of what I have suffered in the past, now I have come to a point where I'm so much connected to people who are going to validate me. You know, someone's going to say, oh Rion, but you're doing a good job. And now when I keep on pleasing, even at work, if my manager doesn't give me a compliment, it's a problem, you know, because now I'm empty inside, you know. I'm so empty to a point that when someone comes in, more like a covering to me, I connect with them, you know, because of I lack it myself. But this is one thing that we are missing. It needs to start with you, you know. When it has started with me, and the question maybe would be, how does it start with me? Are you honest with yourself? You know, are you really honest with yourself? Because we are used to being imbokoto, you know, unconsciously. You know, I'm okay, I'm strong. And sometimes we are okay because some of us are firstborns. We are just used to being okay, you know, because of we are carrying everyone, you know. So it starts with you, you know. How are you? How are you doing? You know, is there anything that you're struggling with? And in most cases, we do know these things, you know. I'm struggling with this and this and that. Is there anything that you're doing with? The people that you're surrounding yourself with, the influences around, you know, are they impacting you positively? You know, do you have people that you can speak to? You know, do you've got friends? Do you have friends, you know, those who are Christians, who can descend on your behalf when life is tough, you know? Because sometimes we need to be careful also with the people that we surround ourselves with, because of life is not always smooth, you know. But when I'm stuck, who do I run to? And sometimes it's not easy to run to anyone, you know, because of also some of the things that we are going through. It's not a public thing. We want to keep it private. But in keeping it private, do you know how to navigate, you know, yourself within that process, so that you don't find yourself losing yourself?
It's not a mouthful there. I think you answered the next question that I wanted to ask, that like, what can women do to prevent? So I think you answered that. Okay, to prevent also, maybe just to add, I think women need to also start exercising self-compassion. You know, the very same compassion that you extend to your friend. Let it, like, give yourself that, you know. Practice self-care. I was telling my friend that when I go and do my hair and my nails, like, I feel like I'm going to a vacation, you know. Like, it feels refreshing also. And also other things, celebrate yourself. A lot of us don't know how to celebrate ourselves, you know. When you achieve something, you know, celebrate it. Make it a big deal. This is me, you know, and clap for yourself. And the other thing is also focusing on your strength. It's very important, because now on days when you are feeling low, you are able to reflect back on, you know, these are the things, these are the goals that I still have for me. These are the things that can, you know, pick you up from that low time, and you are able to still have hope, you know, and continue from there after. Thank you so much. Any closing remarks for us?
Okay, I actually wrote something down here that someone once quoted. It speaks about women, because this is a women's event, that women, one thing that will make you to stay beautiful, it's not the expensive products that you use on your skin, but it's the daily decisions that you make on daily basis, the commitment to show up for yourself with compassion and boldness, and the decisions to let go of the things that are not good for you, and the choice to forgive and release those who have hurt you, and the desire to show up and trust your maker. So those are my closing remarks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot. Before they kill me.
It's the food.
The food is distracting me, you know what? Hey. Yes.
Thank you so much for that presentation. So there's a LinkedIn post that came out this week about mental health practitioners being the ones who struggle a lot with psychopathology, like with just issues, right? So I want to ask from you, in your just day to day, how do you ensure that you take care of yourself, and what are some of the tips that you could give other people who serve as healthcare workers, mental healthcare workers? Because I mean, as mothers, as big sisters, at times we play therapist quite a lot. So maybe drawing from your own. So what are some of the things that you do to center yourself, to ground yourself, to make sure that you are well? Because I mean, I imagine having to see client 1 going on client 2, client 3. You don't get to, it's not part-time with you. It's like you are there every day. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That is a very important question. Number one, which I would hardly say in my professional setup, because not everyone believes in God. I pray a lot, and God helps me. I say to people that when I walk outside of my office, also in different companies where I work in, I forgot what I was dealing with. Like literally I focus on me, but also what's helping me is that I've also got to a place of not forgetting me. So I pray, I detox also, Tando. Maybe let me stand up so that you see me, Yeah, I've got a way in which I also detox mentally. I also see a professional as a professional. It's very important for me because what I do is not a joke. If I don't take myself serious, just imagine a number of people that I'm going to lead astray. Yeah, so I also take myself, I also do detox therapeutical wise. And also what I do the things that I love the most, which is I love going to a spa. I love relaxing. So I go to a spa a lot. I love Thai massage, So, and I love shopping, but sometimes the bank account is not shopping with me, So, but what I'll do, like I say, that I focus on the things that makes me happy. Like I said, a lot of people, they don't know what makes them happy. So even if I've got 100 rand, I'm going to make use of that 100 rand and I'll be so fulfilled, and I'll feel like, oh, life is good. Even if I just buy a McFlurry and, those who are mothers will know, sometimes we sit in our car, to just take a breath in and finish that McFlurry, go and TikTok nyana 5 seconds and I go back. So I just do mostly what I love, and most importantly, I also consult and I pray a lot. So that's what helps me. Thank you.
Madam Doctor?
Wow. So I feel like I'll be owing somebody here. I think we were supposed to get an invoice for this free services, so please don't send an invoice to us.
I think I understand the session.
Yeah, this is very important. So one of my responsibilities at work is to enforce the policy from the Department of Education. All our policies are guided by the Constitution. They are Bill of Rights, says things about religion, So my job is to go to the principals and say, you are not forced to have all the learners to pray or for somebody to open. Yes, it's, you see the confusion. I'm a Christian, but I tell principals, make sure that your religion policy says to the parents, their children are not forced to come to assembly. But then I'm like to them, I hope nobody is recording me. Then I'm like, principals, this is not what I'll tell you if you find me on the street. I'll say something different. So say you have me coming to you and I tell you all my problems, because I know you guys get a lot of info. Are you able to say, dude, you are in a wrong marriage?
No, I'm not saying yeah. I'm saying yeah, I hear you. as a professional and also someone that is married, I'm not allowed to tell you that. But through the therapeutic process that I'm going to engage you in, you are going to come to a point where you are honest with yourself. You know, so professionally, of course, we've got a way in which we engage with our clients. We are trained to do that. So there are professionals who are going to tell you that, which I think now they are missing, you know, how they are supposed to approach questions like that. Because now, tomorrow you'll be saying, I saw Rion and Rion told me that I'm in a wrong marriage. And you later realize, but if I was to fix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, maybe I would have, you know. We do also have couples who come to marriage therapy, and because I'm so much big on being honest with yourself, you know, as I engage, even if I can see that it's broken, you know, but no, I don't say it. And also for the love of marriage, I don't, but I give out tasks to do, you know, in my sessions, even individually so. And when you come back with those tasks, I know the direction that we are going to take, but it will be more from you than from me. I'm just there as a guide, you know. And you'll find that maybe on the 3rd or 4th session, a woman is saying that, you know what, Rion, when I initially met you, you emphasized so much on being honest with yourself. I'm lying to myself, and I've been lying to myself in the past 2 sessions. I think at this point, I have checked out from this marriage. I no longer want this person, yet I think this is a good person and we can be good friends. You see, but because of now, these things came up in a therapeutic way, you know, it has become a bit amicable, you know, in a way in which it's ending. So I don't tell people, to answer your question directly, that you are in a wrong marriage. I won't tell you, or you are in a wrong relationship. I won't tell you, but my follow-up questions will make you question yourself in a way. Yeah. Thank you.
I think she was next, then how to go. You can go to support.
Okay, I've got 2. The second one will be a bit complex, but hopefully everyone can be able to contribute. The first one is especially for people who are working like myself.
Yeah.
Can I be charged to tell someone that
Can you be?
Can I be charged legally?
Yeah.
Or to tell someone that check yourself?
Yeah. Remember, approach is very important, you know, and we want to be also a bit sensitive, you know, because there are those that really, maybe they know, but there is denial. And also, when you use a very good approach, because you're speaking of a workspace, you know, maybe you call a person aside and, you know, have, you know, approach it, get a conversation, and then you get to a place where, but have you thought about therapy at some point, you know, and hear them out. But you won't be charged for that. But I guess it will depend on how you are saying it. If they decide to escalate it, then it's a different case. But I think because it's you, I don't think you will say it in a way that you just said it now. But, you know, you want to say it? Is it to your boss? Okay. Yes.
Okay, the second one is, I think it's a bit sensitive, this one, and especially with not even just married women, but firstborns, let me put it like that. And I want to hear it from both a professional point of view and a spiritual point of view, because I believe most of us are Christians, are born again. So there comes a time where you go through a lot of these things, challenges, and then maybe I can come and see you and say, I've managed to come through it. Next thing, I go back and I see 5 times of what I went through. And then after that, I'm supposed to go through it and overcome it. And I come back and I'm like, I went through it. And I go back, there's 10 times, you know, maybe just to give a rough example. Like, for instance, I'm working in this environment and then I'm leaving because I know that it's not happening. And then I find another job and I find that, it's more than that. Or even at home, Mori, I was helping child A or sibling A. Next thing, sibling B, not assistance, and it's all pointed at me. And you feel like I managed with sibling A, but the family sees that, oh, now she managed with sibling A, now she can cover sibling B. And also you're also praying to God and saying, God, but please, because I could manage so much. So I feel that mostly it's firstborns who gets to be thrown so much. So I want to find out, is there a spiritual connotation to that? But there's a me that says, no, man, I am
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. So with that, when I spoke earlier, I spoke about boundaries, and when it comes to I'm a firstborn, I think we are so much programmed to be superheroes, you know, saving everyone, you know. Yet we come to a point where you are saving everyone, but now you have come to a point where you are tired, you are exhausted. You also need someone to save you. So now this comes back to you, you know, as a person. Hore, can I really do this? And if I can't do it, if now you have come to a point of crash, what you are talking about now, you know, you need to now draw the line. You need to now come to a point that, Rion, I will be able, you must put yourself at a position where you can be able to do what you can do. And what you can't do, you know, with time, maybe will be, you need to stop being hard on yourself. You need to stop, you know, thinking that because of I did this with this one, I will save everyone. You are not God. You are a human being. And you need, you know, like a savior. You know, someone's going to say, Rion, how you doing? You know, Ushap, do you need help? But in most cases, we don't have people like that, you know, besides maybe, you know, your partner, you know, because of you spend a lot of time with them.
They also expect a lot from us.
They also expect a lot from us. Yes. So now, but now it goes back to identity, you as a self, you know. Let me give an example with me. I'm a firstborn and also I'm a wife. But previously, how I used to navigate things is different from now. Now I love myself so much that I don't allow certain things, but I communicated. Communication, which is very important, but how I communicated also is very much important. We are not saying now when you come to a point where you love yourself and you cater for yourself, be rude. No, there are ways of doing things, and when you start changing the ways of doing things, it's a shock to everyone. Now people are also going to add, you know, and want to mess up the business that you have started with the self. When how all of a sudden you changed, but with this one you did this one, you know. So there's a way of communicating it and a way of making them understand. But this comes back to, do you take care of the self, you know, or you just want to save everyone? Are you honest with yourself? Because sometimes we can't do it, but because of there's an expectation at home and I don't want to disappoint them, I force myself to do it, but I'm crashing, you know, behind the scenes, you know. So there's nothing wrong. Be honest with yourself, and you know, even if you can have a plan and do it within a capacity that you are able to. You don't have to cover everything all at once. You are just a human being. Yeah. Okay.
Any further questions? Oh, Mama had to.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that answer. Yeah, I think we just want to save everybody, but at some point you have to save yourself. Yeah. But I just wanted to say, do you think there are people that are just addicted to therapy? You know, people, sometimes I feel like some people, on my platform, I'll give you an example, right? Sometimes I have people directly DMing me, wanting to talk to me as if I'm a counselor, right? And when I talk to people, every once in a while I'll agree to have like a one-on-one with somebody. But I feel like some people are just addicted to counseling and trauma.
Yeah.
Because for them it tells a story.
Yeah.
But then how do you then go on and tell somebody that please just let go of your story without being rude, right? Because I think a lot of people are holding on to what happened here. This is why I am how I am. This is why I cannot be like this in a relationship. You don't understand. Right? How do I help somebody that says, but you don't understand my background? But I'm saying, if you let go of this background and then take on this new journey, we're not saying you forget this. You acknowledge this, that it happened, but it doesn't determine where I go further. So how do you help people that are addicted to trauma and therapy?
So a lot of times people who are addicted to therapy is a lot of times where people, they are not independent. Self-trust, the confidence that I was talking about, you know, you don't trust yourself that you can do it without seeing Rion, you know. So in the therapeutic setup, what we do also, remember, we'll do sessions, in most cases it's like 6 weeks, and at the end of the maybe last session, where it's a last session, people don't want to hear the word today is our last session or next week is our last session, because they're like, how am I going to be able to navigate and, you know, do it without you, because now I'm used to seeing you. So now this is now the time where we need to put these things that we're talking about in practice. How will you know that you can be able to do it without Rion, without doing it? You know, now that you are with Rion, you are well equipped, you know. given you the tools, you know, the coping mechanisms are there, but give yourself a chance also to trust yourself again, you know, and put it into practice. Give yourself a few months and see how it goes, you know, without having to think about Rion. And after 3 to 4 months, maybe you can come back to me, but maybe now we'll be talking about, I didn't think I'll be able to do it on my own. Thank you. But also, we also need to put in the work, you know. So people are scared to be independent because of also, people are not aware that they don't believe in themselves so much, you know, they don't trust their ability so much. But because of Mabato Uteng, that's why you hear people, well, there's nothing wrong. If it wasn't for Mabato, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. But also, if Mabato to kill yourself, you know, so people can speak positively with themselves, positive self-talk. I spoke about compassion earlier on. The compassion that you extend to your friend, that's why we're able to have people who speak good of us, because of we can be good to them. But can you exercise the same compassion to yourself as a human being? You know? So I think maybe finding an approach in, you know, sometimes also there's a need for validation there, so much. You know, there's a need, because of Mabato Wankutwa, and it seems to understand me, and one validate, I want to hang on to Mabato. But sometimes just using an approach of, look, trust yourself. Let another way I'm speaking to you, it's not like it just happened overnight, but I had to trust myself also, you know. So, Mukoti, trust your, or whosoever, you know, trust yourself and believe in yourself. If it's someone who prays, pray about it also, you know, and you will see with time it will get better. But you also need to put in the work, you know, force yourself to, you know, do certain things, take care of yourself, go to church, you know. So those kind of conversation and approaching it in that way, I think maybe it can help. But that's a thing that is existing.
That is very I think a lot of people also, when they see you as a strong person, they don't believe that you've been through that challenges. Or you always want to believe that you were made like this. And for me, I think it gets tiring because I've let go of my story. I used to also be one of those that, you know, I wasn't like this, I didn't get this, why was this person not treating me like that? But I had to get to a point where I had to grow up mentally and spiritually and also emotionally to say, this does not determine who I get to be. Yes, I've been through this, but at some point I have to become me in spite of my background. And people are lazy to put the work in. It's not easy. It's not easy. When you go to therapy and you're listening to your life like literally unfold before your eyes, like you get shattered to say, why cannot I hold on to this, because this has made me this, but then you don't understand that this is limiting you from the potential that you could actually be if you actually let go of the story. And letting go of the story doesn't necessarily say that it's not important. It says I acknowledge that this happened, but I choose to grow and move on from this and open a new path into a new existence.
And that is that's what a lot of women are lacking. What you've just said. So having to do that yourself, it's a big win for me.
Therapy.
Yeah.
The therapist is like, you're good to go, you can go now.
I think,
can I have one question? I just want to find out, how can one strike a balance between a stronghold or a situation that is either a spiritual matter or a mental issue? So how can I differentiate?
That's a good one.
That's a good one and a very difficult one, you know, because I think we spoke about this also in our home cell, you know, having to know what is this spiritual, but also as a Christian, we are quick to think it's a spiritual thing, you know, and yet, on the other hand, besides me thinking of it, what it's a spiritual thing, what can I do to meet myself halfway, you know, in terms of not really just thinking about it as a spiritual thing? You know, are there other alternatives? Am I doing research also myself? Because also we need to research ourselves, you know. I know that sometimes Google can scare you, you know, but now we've got platforms like Mabato was speaking about YouTubes, you know, people are talking about their stories there. We've got TikToks, you know. So find out, because sometimes you can think I'm the only one because mine kaya by a lawyer. Yes, it's real. We know that as black people, you know. But besides it being real, maybe there are other ways of dealing with it. And am I making time maybe to just find out, you know, research about it and be honest with myself about it and see if maybe there is a different direction that I can take, you know, besides just holding on to yo mara abangiyegi, you know, gunini. You know, and it can be very tough as a Christian. I can relate.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm asking is one, I don't know about Christians this side of the country, Gauteng, but most people want to take everything to demonize everything. The reason why things are not moving is because it's witchcraft, like they say, I'm bewitched or whatever the case. Not thinking on the other side that it could be, maybe you need to heal, maybe you need to take a different approach.
Maybe you're lazy.
Maybe you're lazy, exactly. Maybe you're lazy, because it gets too deep to a point. Maybe if someone is untidy, they can easily say it's a demon. Whereas when you can exercise, cleaning up and all of that, then you can easily get away from that. So I just wanted to get it validated that actually we can put a strike between spiritual matters, and it's not everything that you need to be prayed for about.
It's not. You know, it comes back to what are you doing also. Am I wanting a job by just praying and not applying? Because you know, I want a husband, but I'm not going out. I don't even go to church. But because of I pray, he's gonna come knocking at my door. You know, I want this and this and this. Like, think outside of the box besides just being that stubborn Christian about things.
We got a question. Wow. Oh, thank you, sister.
Thank you so much.